you know, and I don't...
Sounds like you agree with me then, that there's no good reason for men to give women additional status.
But flowers is a gesture of kindness. That's a gesture of respect. It's not an issue of...
You can't show people respect unless you open their door and give them flowers?
I never said that I expect every man to open my door.
Isn't it a bigger sign of respect to treat you exactly as an equal? Wouldn't that be the biggest sign of respect?
I do agree with that. And so, like I said, I've given men flowers.
Let's get rid of this evil status of toxic femininity.
That's
where
fair.
They demand additional status in society that they don't deserve when we should be treating them like the equals they demand we treat them.
Okay, so what is your definition of toxic femininity? What do you mean by that? What is,
a demand for additional status is based on old chivalric codes that are undeserved when you at the same time demand equality. So I would say toxic femininity is the demand of Schrodinger's feminists who claim, here's a Schrodinger's feminist, you are both the biggest victim on planet Earth while at the same time the most badass badass woman on planet Earth. And depending on what circumstance you're in, you'll use either one of those. Either you're super oppressed or you're badass. That's Schrodinger's feminist.
That's fair.
What toxic femininity is just saying, look, if you're demanding additional statuses in society while you're demanding equality in society, then you're not demanding equality in society. You're demanding status.
I agree with that, and back to your original point of the flowers, I said that it was a kind gesture. I've also given men flowers. So I do think that, there are certain things that are conflicting when it comes to, feminism and, wanting to be treated higher than rather than equal, because feminism originally was for equality. I do agree with you there, and that's not a point that I'm arguing with you on. Obviously, like I believe femininity and feminism, in the olden day sense, is better than what it's turned into. I believe that, if
it wasn't, it was even worse. It was even worse.
Okay.
Women, imagine this, like, can you imagine that women, and this is the truth, women had serious societal status, and now they're told to compete with men. It's fucking stupid. It's like, it's the dumbest thing ever. They had real societal status, and they took all that status away from themselves so that they could be equal to men who they can't be equal with. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
What is status if not freedom? Why would you trade status for freedom? I believe that you should want to be able to be your own person. Now, the time that
freedom
you're talking
to do what?
Freedom to be an individual. In the olden days, you had to be tied to a man. You had to be tied to a husband. Now, is that me saying, oh, I hate men? No. I plan on having a husband sometime. Okay.
There's no escaping being tied to men. There's no escaping that. Like everything, the whole building you're in, the streets you walk on, the cars you drive, everything that you do is tied to men. There's no escape.
Right, and there should be, a relationship that is equal between man and woman. I'm not saying that you should cut out men. I'm not saying that women should be lower or higher. I'm saying that there should be an equal level between men and women. Men and women have different places in society that they are dominant in.
Yes, I agree, but why should they be equal? Why?
Why should they be equal? Because we are both human beings. Because we both have human rights.
Equality?
That is like saying that you should treat one race different than the other. You shouldn't treat a man versus a woman different. Because you're treating.
Hang on, back up.
Okay.
You wouldn't be treating one race differently than another, right? You'd be treating one sex differently than the other. The reason because you do agree with me that there's different races who are the same sex, who are women and men.
So
men still have authority in society. Right? I'm sorry to cut you off in the middle of your long diatribe. Just want to clarify. If men have status or have authority in society and women have status in society, that's fine. But if you want to trade that for equality, you can't bitch when you get it. That's my point.
What is the difference between, treating somebody differently based on their race versus based on their gender? There should not be a difference. We are all human beings, so you should treat us equal based on that. That in of itself is the basis of humanity.
It's just an assertion. We don't treat each other equally at all. Men don't treat each other equally, even slightly. We compete with each other every single day, 7 days a week, every single day of the year. Men are in competition.
And I
have hang on. Can I respond to what you just said?
Yes, sir.
If not, then make sure that you give me the high sign and say I'm not done yet, and I'll be quiet. So if you want to continue, go ahead and finish, and then I'll respond. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that maybe my viewpoint isn't how society is actually based, but it's a utopian viewpoint. I believe that people should be treated equal, not based on their gender, not based on their race, not based on anything else besides that they are a human being. So you may speak now. That was all I wanted to say.
And that's fine to treat people equally if that's what your value is, okay? But then you can't ask for additional statuses because that wouldn't be equal. That's the point, that's the purpose. And the thing is that women do ask for additional statuses. So here would be true equality. You don't lower the training standards for police officers because they're women. You don't lower the training standards for soldiers because they're women. You don't lower the standards for flight school. You don't lower the standards for any of these various things that men are clearly much better at than women because they're women. That would be true equality. When you come back to me and give me that, then I'll believe that women don't want additional statuses in society. But right now, it sure seems like they do.
I believe that's fair. And, my viewpoint might not be the same as every other woman in society, but I do think that we should be treated equally.
Do you know what that would actually entail? To be treated
I do understand what that actually would entail. Yes, sir.
You would?
Yes, sir. I
So
do
like the
understand.
So you don't think, so do
I
you
would
think
be-
that if a woman, do you think that if a woman smacks a guy that he should turn around and belt her across the mouth?
Okay, so smacking and belting is not the same, but I do
Yeah, I
think
know, but
there
if
is
a
a
man
difference
smacks
in
me,
strength.
it's okay for me to belt him, right?
There is a difference in strength between the average man and the average woman. That is not something that is disagreeable based on scientific evidence. I'm not
No.
going to argue with that. Now, I do think that, if you are in this utopian society where you are treating everyone equally, then that would be a situation that would occur. Now, is that equality? No, because the man might be stronger than the woman.
No, that's still equality. Listen, if weaker men attack stronger men, which happens all the time, nobody bats an eye if the stronger man beats up the weaker man. So how is it that you can logically say, because women are weaker, they then deserve the privilege of being able to hit men without men hitting them back?
I
If the
didn't
woman's
say
hitting
that.
him, hang on. If the woman's hitting him at full strength, for instance, and he hits her back at full strength, that would be equality.
I mean, I don't condone violence like that, domestic or whatever the
That's
reason is.
nice. It has nothing to
Right,
do with the
but I
actual
understand
point,
what you're
though.
saying, and I actually, I do think that that would be, considered equality in that sense. Now, do I think that it's okay to hit a woman? Do I think that you should go around smacking women? No. But, if you're saying, okay, a woman is being aggressive towards a man and then a man is aggressive back, that would be considered equal. Is it equal? No. There is a difference in strength there, and
There's a
that's
difference in
not,
strength between every human being on planet Earth.
that's true.
So no matter what, there's always going to be somebody in the fight who's stronger than the other person. We don't say that you can't defend yourself because the other person is weaker. So the thing is like, if you really want equality and you want to know what that entails that
I
women
understand.
have to get screamed at by their bosses, just like men do. And they can't complain about it and whine and cry about it. It means that they're going to have to deal with coarse jokes and things like this, just like men do, and they can't cry about it, they can't whine about it. It means that they actually get treated like equals. It means that when women put their hands all over men and nobody bats an eyelash, like at a party or something like this, and nobody says that that's sexual battery, that men need to begin to say that it is, because that's what women say. So the thing is like, true equality, I don't even think that women want it. I don't believe you. I literally don't believe that women actually want it. I don't
That's
even think they
okay.
know what the entailment of it is.
You don't have to believe me. I do think it's wrong for a woman to sexually harass a man, just as it's wrong for a man to sexually harass a woman, just as it's wrong for a man to hit a woman and a woman to hit a man. I don't believe that violence of any source is okay. I don't think that, assaulting anyone is okay. I don't care what your gender is or what you believe, that it's not
So
all
are
right.
you going to
It's
start advocating that
disrespect.
women get drafted?
It's funny because I was planning on signing up for the military after college.
That's
But
not what I
Wait,
asked.
and you got to answer the question, though.
yes.
Okay.
If that's equality,
You're going
yes.
to start, so I can expect you in protest soon, demanding that women be drafted.
I'm not the type of person to protest, but
Are you going to demand that men also have a say over abortion? And that they're
This
also
isn't-
allowed
okay,
to have a say
so
in what
I'm-
happens with their baby?
I am Christian, so I don't really believe that abortion is a right that somebody should have. So yes, I do think that if it's a male and a female's, it's sperm and egg, right? That does give the man some sort
You're a
of.
Christian but believe in equality? That's a patristic faith, it's patriarchal.
Okay.
Well, there's no okay. I mean, I'm sorry, is God the father or the mother? Is God the father or the mother?
God is Father, right?
Right,
You
was
call him
Jesus, did
Father
Jesus Christ incarnate as a woman or a man?
as a man.
He incarnated as a man, and are priests referred to as father, and are women allowed to be priests?
So that's a different, strain. I do believe that women can be in a place of, they can hold a place in a religion. So that's
So
also the
clergy
difference.
can represent the Christ head, even though the Christ head incarnated as a man. That makes sense to you?
I think that God speaks through both men and women.
Here, hold on. But can just to move things along a little bit, can women be clergy? And what's your
I
denomination?
don't follow that. Yeah,
What's your
I'm
what's your-
non-denominational. I
okay.
just follow the Bible. So I don't think that pertains to me. I'm not qualified enough to answer that question.
Okay.
That's not my denomination.
Okay, well, I just ask you one quick one then.
Go ahead.
So we have God the Father, we have Jesus Christ who was incarnate. Was there
Yes,
can you point to me to a female apostle? What was her name?
I mean, there were people that followed Jesus that were women. There's many signs of that in the Bible. So
What was the apostle's name?
there was Mary.
Mary.
What?
She went Esther.
Yep, Esther. Yeah.
Esther.
Okay. Yeah. Have you seen The Chosen? There's plenty of women. That's biblically accurate as well as they could do. So there are plenty of women referenced in the Bible that did follow Jesus, that did drop everything and follow him. And that's one of the things about Jesus, is that he was fair to both men and women. He allowed both to follow him, and that was something that really, really pissed off the Jewish rabbis, was the fact that he did treat women well in comparison to what they were treated as. So, I mean, he allowed a woman who had multiple husbands to follow him. So, and to give you some context, I wasn't raised Christian.
You mean
actually.
the woman that he said to go and sin no more?
Yes, at the fountain, or at the well. Sorry, I became Christian a year ago. I wasn't raised with Christianity, so I don't want to miss.
I just want to make sure I got this right, though, so we have it on record that you think that Mary and Esther were apostles.
I'm not saying that they were apostles, right? There's the 12 apostles, which were men. I understand that, but I am saying they're followers of Christ. Okay, that was what I was saying.
Yeah. So that's not what was my question, though?
I understand what your question was. You asked if there were any females that were apostles, and there were not.
Apostles, yeah.
But that does not
Okay.
mean that God does not speak to women or speak through women as well.
And so in Paul, when Paul says that women are not allowed to teach in church, he was just lying.
There's a few things in the Bible that I'm still coming to grasp and that I don't fully understand, so I cannot give you my best answer on that, because again, I've only been Christian for a year, and it's something that I've been having to go through. I've been reading the Bible, and so no, I can't answer your question with all honesty and with something backing that when I myself am a new
Then why did
Christian.
you laugh when I said that Christianity was a patristic and patriarchal faith? I don't get that. You laughed at it, and I'm like,
Because
why
of
are
the
you
fact
laughing?
that
It's a
the-
patriarchal faith. It always has been. It's from the Father.
It's the fact that Jesus was kind to both men and women. I'm not saying
I'm
that.
not talking about being kind. Patriarchs are very kind. What's wrong with is I'm a patriarch, therefore I'm mean? Like, is that the entailment of patriarchy?
Okay.
Is that they're just like mean to women?
He treated women with respect, right? There were women who followed him that had a very vital role within his discipleship, and that's what I'm saying there. Now, I might not completely understand what you're asking me then, if you want to re-clarify the question.
You ready? So in Christianity, men have the authority. Yeah?
What if they're the apostles?
No, they don't have the authority.
Because God needed to lead them,
Okay.
because they didn't have their own discernment.
What's that?
When I read Corinthians, and I think Paul's in that. What I read
Yes,
is
that is
not.
correct.
It said, "Don't marry." That you're better off on your own is what I got out of it. But that maybe the men are the apostles because they need more help from God. Like,
Hold on, Andrew.
I don't
Before
know.
I have you address that, we didn't get an answer to his question.
sorry.
What was his question again?
Well, he made this. Well, I don't know if it was. He made a statement is that Christianity it's patriarchal.
Mm-hmm.
Agree or disagree?
Define patriarchal.
Go ahead,
From
Andrew.
the Father.
It is God is the Father. So yes, I would agree with you there.
It's patriarchal. It's from the Father. From the Father, meaning the Father has the ultimate authority.
I
And then we
do.
worship Jesus Christ, who is the ultimate authority, right? And so the Christ head, the teacher, the person who is leading your church, this person is a representation of Christ on earth. That's why you can't have a woman be a priest or a pastor or whatever it is that you consider clergy to be. So the thing is that ultimately the view of egalitarianism is not compatible with the view of Christianity. It can't be.
Are you
It's
Christian?
never going to be. Yes.
Are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Okay, so then, I mean, genuinely, like from my heart, could you educate me on this topic then? Because, like I said,
I
I'm a
can.
new
We
Christian.
can't bog the entire podcast with it
Okay,
down.
so then
but
could you just
can
give me a
definitely
little
reach
bit?
out, and I can move you over to resources that can help you and assist you in this for sure, because you've been sold a hell of a bill of goods.
Can you give me just a summary of what you believe, when it comes to the patriarchal
Yeah, I'll
structure
do it super quick so that Brian can move the show on, right?
Okay, thank you.
Because we've been bogged down here. So, very quickly, God, He's the Father, okay? And you believe in the Trinity, I take it? Father, Son, Holy Ghost, all that
Yes,
stuff,
sir.
right? Okay, great. So Jesus Christ, He's one part of the Godhead. Well, not part, but He's one person of the Godhead. Then the Father, one person of the Godhead. When you, the worshiper, you're worshiping Jesus Christ, you're actually worshiping God, right? God, the representation of God on earth, in this case Jesus Christ, the Christ head is the priest. In a marriage, this is how it's stated in marriage.
Right.
The husband is the representation of the Christ head, and the woman, the body of Christ. The man has ultimate authority in the relationship, has to be that way. That is under the divine authority which Christians believe. That is the representation. So all of these are representations of what it is that Christians believe.
Doesn't in the Bible it say that men and women are equally yoked?
It says
Yeah,
that you
but
should find a partner
so they
that's
are, and they
equally
are
yoked.
fully yoked. So the thing is that just because a man is in authority and a woman is in a submitted position, doesn't mean they're not fully yoked together. That's just silly. Remember, we have 2,000 years of church history governing this. We know how marriages always worked. This idea of egalitarianism and equality is brand new. And the thing is that if it was true equality, you might have a point. But women don't demand real equality. They demand higher social status, and that men have lower social status, and then they call that equality. And that, to me, is bizarre, and it has nothing to do with Christianity at all.